Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hi. I'm waiting for it to show up. There we go. Hello. Hello to everybody watching the VOD. Hope you're well. Hello to everyone who is watching live. How are you guys doing? So I'm just adjusting my my window sizes because it's all a bit skew with for some reason. Hello Simon. How you doing, man? How's things? How's your week been? And how's the PC? How's that treating you? I'm glad I went to you. Glad that the XL random number gods picked you, or however I did it. I can't remember. I think it was XL. Yeah. How you doing? How's things? I've had an extraordinarily bad week. But for no reason in particular, which sucks worse than if there is a reason. Because at least if there's a reason, it feels whole, feels sensible. But there isn't, and that sucks worse. So, yeah. I'm doing a little bit better now. Slowly getting better. Sort of. Hello, Jim. How you doing, man? How's things? Good to have you. Week's been good. Trip to Manchester to buy some kit. PC's great. Been playing Hightail on it currently. Nice. Wonderful. Well, glad you're enjoying it. And fair enough in the trip to Manchester. I took a 45-mile each way trip to an IKEA because my local IKEA was out of stock of a thing that I'm doing a video on. Late last year, IKEA launched a whole bunch of Matter smart home devices, and specifically Matter over Thread as well. And they look really good. Like really, really good. So, and really cheap, like insane, like worryingly cheap. So I went to my local IKEA and I bought some. Except the one thing that I really wanted, like really, really wanted, they didn't have in stock. They said that there were 17 there, and then when I got there and I found the box, there was none in the box. And they were like, "Well, we've just lost 17, which isn't a whole pallet, by the way. A whole carton is 32, because a different store told me that." um. So yeah, I'm not mad about that at all. So I drove for 2 hours. Well, an hour and a half actually. 30 minutes was in the store. To get that and one of the other things that was out of stock. And having tested them today, I'm glad I did. They're incredible. The Alpstuga, amazing bit of kit. It is a CO2 temperature, humidity, and particulate matter sensor with a display built in, and it's a clock, and it's £25. Just to like give you some context, the Zigbee CO2 sensor that I am making and that I have a dev board of over there, the CO2 sensor alone, even if you buy a whole reel, which is 1,500 units, is £5 per reel. That means that their BOM cost for those CO2 sensors is real close to the 25 quid that they're selling it for. Jesus. My local IKEA is only 10 minutes away. Haven't been in years, though, but Mrs. wants new bedroom furniture. Well, they sell smart home tech, and I tell you, it's bloody good. Hello, Joe. How you doing, man? How's things? Good to have you. How are you doing? But slowly better, but also getting worse in some ways. Life's a bitch. But yeah, in fact, because I have hold on, the tabs have hidden themselves because I have too many tabs open. um, I'm doing a video on it, but this is the list of all of the new things that I've bought. A lot of them, or most of them actually. So if you're interested, you can take a look. So yeah. Oh, actually, speaking of smart home stuff, I've broken a light. In my defense, I think it broke itself first, and then I broke it more. Um, does anyone remember those Costco lights that I hacked the firmware on last year, maybe? I present to you a Costco light. Stands controller or power supply board. Whoops. Where is it? So this thing, as I poke myself with the live and neutral, this is the power supply for that panel, and my God, what I need to tell you just how stupid that this is. So each of these LEDs. So there's three, I don't know how well you can see it, but there's three strips of PCBs of LEDs, right? There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 LEDs. 16 sets of 3 LEDs. So you have, I think it's warm white, RGB, cool white on this one, and then it's inverted on this one or something. All of these LEDs are wired in series, and then each of these strips is wired in parallel, which means that to be able to operate these LEDs, you need at least 100 volts. And I'm pretty sure this power supply runs at 300 volts at half, but it's a sine wave at 50 hertz. This power supply is so stupid, it's unbelievable. Which is why this microcontroller board doesn't have a microcontroller on it anymore, because that died. Now, partly it died because of me, because I'm an idiot, but partly it died because this is stupid. This power supply board has no protection for the inputs to the microcontroller board. So even before I actually fully blew up the microcontroller, these little like LED controller chips, which you can see up close if you want, those 4 chips are the ones that do RG and B, and then the cool white and warm white. There's some death beam capacitors. There's a couple of things, and there you go. Yeah, I was measuring a 300 volt sine wave going to this prissy little microcontroller's input pins or output pins, which is real bad, real bad. The reason that this is apart is that this light basically stopped responding to commands. Like occasionally it would, and the light would still come on, but it just wouldn't turn back off, and it was really annoying. And I was like, well, do you know what? What I can do is I can just desolder this microcontroller and then solder my own Zigbee microcontroller on, because I know how to make Zigbee, stuff. So I can make these like Zigbee. I can just desolder that. The little, it's a little board in here. I don't need to touch any of the dangerous stuff. And then I was like, do you know what I need to do? I need to use my oscilloscope to verify what signals are actually coming out, like what the frequency is or whatever. Just make sure that I'm gonna do it right. I'm glad I did. 1, because it blew up. But 2, that's not why I'm glad I did it. 2, because it like it proved that this power supply board is insane and horrible. The problem for me is that if I want to make my own power supply for this, which I do, one, a lot of work. Two, pain in the ass. Three, there's some problems with that. Like having to futz with really high voltage and work out how to control these well. Yeah, the problem is that the actual panel itself, like the housing and even these LEDs, are really nice and it's really cool and good. And so I think I'm just gonna have to design a new product, which is a replacement power supply and controller board for this, these panels. This was meant to be an easy video I could do this week, but one, the snowstorm in America has meant that my ZigBee boards have not arrived, and two, this thing exploded and I now need to design a high voltage power supply. Shit. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. As well as a lot of stuff, but yeah. Yeah. So yeah. What's everybody else been up to? The light they give off is really good. The color temper is good as well. Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, I don't really exactly care about the RGB, but I really like the cool white, warm white. That's actually something. In fact, hold on, I can demonstrate. One sec. So my digital power supply here. Can do 60 volts, which is just which is just about enough to turn on the cool white or warm white. Because the cool white and warm white are warm white and 24 volts are right next to each other, I tend to do only cool white. Let me just make sure that I do it the right way and don't blow it up even more. Pretty sure it's that way. And there you go. Cool white LEDs. Problem is, that is 60 volts. Hold on. There you go, you can see it. 60.67 volts. 5 milliamps, 0.3 of a watt. That's not very bright. That's not a very good, hallway light. So I need a decent bit more voltage for this to work. And it's as high as this bugger will go. So yeah, I need to design a new power supply. Maybe for the chat back. There you go. And because that's dangerous, I'm gonna turn it off. There you go. So yeah. Hello Simon, how you doing? How's things? And also, Simon said, I have the same one, but some of the LEDs are flickering. Having seen this, that does not surprise me. If I do end up making a new power supply board, do you want one? Hello, Stanislav. Joe got a new car the other day, finally rid of the Dacia Dharma. That's what nearly killed us in the motorway. Nice. What was it? It was the... was it JQ or BY? It was a Chinese one. Remind me of the car. My brain isn't working. Joris? Hello. I have a Landcool 217 with 270mm intake fans at the front. 170 is a weird dynamic of that. Two Noctua 120s in the bottom intake and a 240 rad up top exhausting. Is a Noctua 140mm G2 overkill for rear exhaust. As a general rule, the airflow in your case does make a difference. Absolutely can make a difference, but doesn't have quite as much of an effect as I know I thought it did. You know, a wee while ago. Um, so personally, I would be happy with your setup. I would be, you know, real decent at that. Real happy with that. Apologies. There's a lot wrong with me, so my ability to form coherent sentences is at all-time low. Actually, no. 2 weeks ago it was an all-time low. This is only a minor step up from that. I have a splitting headache and a bit of fogginess. I'm not well. I think your fan solution of a Noctua G2 140mm fan gonna be pretty good. If you want to really dive into it, the 170mm fans, it obviously depends on the blade design, the housing, the like motor and RPM, and like even the motor diameter can matter quite a lot for how much airflow and static pressure you get. The balance of static pressure to airflow is something that's can be an interesting one to work out. I guess the only other question I would ask is the 240mm rad that's at the top passive? Like you said, you have a 240mm rad up top exhausting. Does that have fans on it as well, or is it passive? I know people who do that. Fair enough. It's just if it is passive, I would actually use the that rear 140 as an exhaust, so that you basically have as much air pushing up through that. It's an Arctic one with two 120s. Okay, so in that case, it's 6 and 1.5 a dozen. Technically speaking, you want as much air, hot or not, going through the radiator for maximum cooling effect. So again, you could argue that you would actually want that rear fan to be an intake so that you get, again, as much flow, even if it's fan assisted. But in the grand scheme of things, I think you're going to be fine either way, either way you put it. Isn't that a Beyonce thing? Oh, my brain is fried, man. Apologies for the lack of coherence, but that's roughly what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I would personally not care too much about getting the fanciest of fans, like a cheap Arctic. The last time I looked, something PF to NF. No, that's not sure. The F12s or whatever they're called. A cheap 120mm will do you perfectly fine. And if you want to really go all in, then have that as an intake, not an exhaust. Not sure if it's a power issue or damage. I found a crack in the perspex and my kids know nothing about it, apparently. Ah, I see. JQ, nice. In fact, you sent me pics on Discord. Ah, it's one of them. Fair enough. Is that 7 seats as well? Honestly, you should be a car reviewer. You get more than I do. Oh, 5-seater. The older kids have moved out now. Ah, nice. Well, at least that's not a requirement and does open you up to quite a lot of other options, so that's nice. Oh, you went and looked at the Q7 today? The, like, 2016 one or whatever? If I remember. No. Was it newer than that? Maybe a little too big. Yeah, I mean, the only car that is bigger than a Q7 in the Audi range that's a hatchback anyway. 2017 was damn close to 2016. I'm impressed. My memory thought of I remember that. Is an A6 estate, like an A6 Avant. There's more interior volume in an A6 Avant, if I remember rightly, anyway. And yeah. To be fair, the A6 Avant isn't that much bigger than my S4 Avant, so the engine bay is bigger though. They could put the V8 in that one. Not that I want the V8. I like the supercharged V6. Anyway, oh hello Ryzen. What's your thoughts on the use of Bitdefender? I had to uninstall it as it red flagged safe games such as Fortnite and gave me clock watchdog timeouts. Nice. No, don't. Windows Defender is perfectly adequate unless you're being an idiot on the internet. And if you are concerned about a specific malware on your current computer, I would generally recommend downloading Malwarebytes free, running a scan, and then just uninstalling it when you're done. Because you really don't need anything else. Again, unless you're being, an idiot on the internet. Which I do my best not to. I'm thinking maybe Q5 now, or maybe something like the Hyundai Tucson. Something that kind of size, can't decide. I mean, fair enough, I hate all of those things, so... A Q5, which is the exact same platform as my car. In fact, if you are... sorry. If you're getting, like, 2012 to 2016 one, which I guess if it's 2017, then that's the B9 generation. I can't remember what they call it different for the Qs. It's the exact same like drivetrain and suspension, which is really funny as mine. Like my I have Audi Q5 4-piston Brembo brake calipers on my front calipers. And yeah, it's just a straight yeah. Oh, they have the Q535 TS petrol 3.0. Yeah, I mean, so that will be the same block as mine. It'll just either be twin turbo or if it's the 45, then yeah, it's the twin turbo supercharged one. It's the same block. No, it's not the same. Hold on. No. Is it a hot V? I think it's the hot V, isn't it? So, for those who don't know, I'm also occasionally a car reviewer, though I've been too ill to even function, let alone run 2 different YouTube channels. I barely run this one. So I know a lot about cars anyway. That's why I started the channel. Blah, ha ha ha. Can you tell that I'm been insane? When making a V-shaped engine, you have your two cylinders, or 2 banks of cylinders, and a hot V means that you put the exhaust output in the middle, so it comes out of the heads upwards, and then generally hot Vs have your turbochargers in the middle, so they go into the turbos and then out the back through a single downpipe in the middle, versus cold Vs where the intake is in the middle. So my supercharged V6 is a cold V because the supercharger sits on top and in the middle of the two cylinder banks, and forces the compressed air down into the cylinder heads, and then the exhaust manifolds are basically on the bottom side of the V, and they exhaust out the back like a fairly typical V engine would. But if I remember rightly, the supercharged the twin turbo V6 that took over from my supercharged one for the 2016-2017 B9 model years and on, is a hot V, so the turbos are in the middle, which has some reliability concerns. It's more efficient, but it has some reliability concerns. I use municipal transport. It's fine by me, plus it's quite developed here. Nice. Fair enough. This is the land of capitalism, where while we do have municipal transport and walkable cities generally, still not great. Still not great. In fact, actually, my wife was at a friend's house a little while ago, and now she has her own car. She drove, and she drove her friends who don't have cars. And oh no, sorry, her friend drove her. Her friend picked her up, using his mum's car, and drove them there. Now the like village that she lives in is I don't know, 30-minute drive, 20-minute drive from here. I really needed her to come home, but yeah, the options for public transport were, I think, something crazy like 4 hours or 6 hours were the two route options that were possible, because there's only one bus that comes maybe once an hour, but it goes all the way to one of the two towns that were between. Then you have to wait again to get another bus that's another hour back. So you have to wait an hour and then take an hour and a half long bus into the city and then take another hour long bus home. Like, yeah. So if you ask why we have cars here, that's a reason. Why walk when fossil fuels? Yeah. Oh, please tell me everybody's watched Alex from Technology Connections' most recent video about fossil fuels. It's excellent. It's a way of thinking about fossil fuels that I have not conceptualized before. The core fundamental argument is that fossil fuels are one-time use, and that's a problem. It's like the worst subscription service. That doesn't stop me owning a gas guzzling sports car. But it's an interesting thing to think about. Hello, Luca. How you doing, man? How's things? Well, we can make oil. What do you mean, Resin? We can make charcoal. Again, what do you mean, Resin? Need a new clutch for my car again. Ah, yes. Is yours manual or what you call it? DCT. It's manual. Right, nice. So you're just launching it too hard then. Or are you grannying it in shifts? We can make oil from plants. We can, but it is incredibly energy inefficient. Watch his video; he explains it much better than I ever will. Yeah, Technology Connections. Check it out. I don't roll coal anymore. That's my contribution. Fair enough. Yeah. I'd still recommend checking out the video if you haven't seen it. It's not a, preachy, we all must drive EVs thing. It's just information presented in a often comedic and generally just very beautifully autistic way. I resonate very heavily with the autism on that one. Yeah, so Would recommend. Oh my god, I was just thinking about the IKEA stuff again because I was looking at I have the manual for one of the lights that I have. Kajplats. There you go. There. In fact, I can turn one on. That one. Yeah. See, you can't see the light because it's there, but yeah, 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 yeah. See, it's turning it off. How cool. Um, but yeah, I was looking at this, reminded of the IKEA stuff. They have a one of the new Matter things that I bought, and that they have available is a motion sensor, like a PIR motion sensor, passive infrared. I cannot describe just how like cool and nice the design, like the physical product design is of the like of that. I can't be bothered to work out what it's called. Hold on. Oh, MIG spray. Yeah, as opposed to MIG bet, which is the door sensor that I also have, or the Timmerflot, or the Clipbock. And I thought I was having a stroke before. Yes, the MIG spray. That is like just the design language is just so clever. So the backer to it has space for adhesive strips. So if you just want to stick it to the wall, they include little 3M adhesive foam strips so you can stick it to your wall. Renter friendly. If you want to screw it to the wall instead, they have 3 different positions. So the back is multifaceted. So there's a flat back and then there's 2 angled sides, both of which have holes, or all 3 have holes. So you can mount it not only to the wall straight on, but at a 45-degree, like screwed to the wall. That's nice. But if you're like, nah, I just want to put it on a shelf. Well, they've designed the back to act as a stand with a perfect angle for this sensor. It is beautifully designed, and it's like £7 for a Matter over thread like PIR sensor with a light sensor built in too, so that you can, when you like do your automations, you can actually have it turn on only when there's no light in the room. Like, these are great. IKEA do Zigbee stuff right. They do, although they're phasing that out in favor of Matter over Thread devices, which is what I've bought a load of. What I can now pretty highly recommend. And there are also a whole bunch of ways to do both Matter over Thread and Zigbee through Home Assistant. So if you are setting your own stuff up, that might be a good shout. It's annoying to have 2 different networks of stuff, but pretty cool. I didn't even launch it. The clutch I got is only rated for stage 2 power. It's cooked the 600 Newton meters of torque. Fair enough. I nearly bought the Yale L2 Lite smart door lock. Neat little device, but it's only for left locking doors. Mine's right locking. Question: why? Like, theoretically, I understand the concept of, just like tapping in a code or whatever, or tapping your phone or whatever to unlock your door instead of having to carry a physical set of keys. But like, why though? We have the Yale Smart Alarm, but the app signs you out every time you arm it. Ugh. Because I'm curious. Okay, I mean, it's your money and security and privacy. If you can't tell, I'm skeptical as fuck. Is 9 PM the watershed? Look at me and look at the same thought. I feel strongly about that. What the smart door lock situation. So yeah. My Korean friend who now lives in the UK was very disappointed. The first time she got here, as everywhere in Korea has smart door locks. I mean, fair enough. What I do know, especially from watching any lockpicking lawyer video, uh, is that a lot of smart door locks are not only made to cost, but made as tech products first, which means that the several hundred years of like lock security practices don't tend to be applied. Yeah. Hmm. I guess Yale might have half a chance of making it slightly secure, but yeah. I'm not sure what I want to do about this whole thingamabob. This panel. Because if I disconnect, so this is the input wire for this first strip, and then this is the cross wire that brings that over. So if I disconnect the other two, and turn it back on, it's the exact same voltage and basically the same current. They do, they are slightly brighter than before. In fact, if I move chat again, you can see it's basically the same. So where are we at? I mean, 60 volts is the max, and then 0.4 milliamps. We go that way, actually. Turn it off. It's actually off. Reconnect it. These little connectors have snapped my nail and made it bleed. So I'm quite upset with them. Turn it back on. Where are we at? Weirdly, basically the same current. But there's now 3 sets of... How does that work? They're about the same brightness. What? Is there a noticeable difference in the brightness of these versus... Because that... Huh? No! No, there isn't! That's the same! But there's basically... Huh? Wait. Wait. Let me turn it back off to be safe. Wait. I think I've just thought that. Eh. No, that's still about the same. Yeah. I thought while I was looking down at the darker ones, that they were brighter down there because the circuit's stupid. But no, they're the same. They're all the same. Hello, Essentialist. Are there resistors in line to limit the power? No. So what you can maybe see, in fact, turn it off. What you can maybe see as resistors there, can disconnect it now. are 0 ohm resistors. Will I be able to show this to you? Who knows? Let's find out. Is there enough room? I now can't see the screen. That way. So these here, and these here, and these here. This is very confusing to do it backwards and sideways. Are all 0 ohm resistors because these are single layer, like top layer only PCBs. And so traces that have to cross each other, you have to use a 0 ohm resistor like that to make that cross happen. Because you can't go under. You gotta go around. So yeah, there's no there are no resistors on here. These are just straight PCBs. And yeah, you would expect at very least more brightness for the same power, or basically the same power, but with a third strip of like 2 extra strips of LEDs on there. I don't know. I was trying to work out how the RGB LEDs work. So those are the middle ones of all of them, and I cannot figure it out. I don't know what pin they're fed from. I don't know, like, so this connector here is the RGB, what I believe to be the separate ground paths, but up here there is only V plus and bus. Bus was just the straight unfiltered voltage, whereas V plus is what I know powers the cool white and warm white LEDs, and I have to assume is what powers the RGB, because V bus just disappears up here somewhere, and I can't find it anywhere else on it's not included in any of the Passover ones. So I am just really confused trying to reverse engineer this, and with, you know, a quarter of a brain cell left, so doing good. But yeah, maybe I'll get around to making a power supply for this. And a Zigbee board. Zigbee board and a power supply. Ideally. So yeah. Can you find the manufacturer schematic? Oh, chat's off screen, sorry. There might be something in the FCC docs. They tend to be the ones that have the most like readily available, publicly accessible information for it. So maybe. But yeah, don't know. You confuse me. I think it's the Artica Sky Panel. Costco brand. Wow, it's not a Costco brand. Yeah, Artica Skyshade. Yeah, FCC. Well, my website comes up. There's an AWS link. Okay, that's not it. I'm not. I'm actually playing GTA later. Damn, I need to find the FCC ID for this. Actually, hold on, is it on the back of the panel? No? I don't know. I'll have a look later. Shush. Hello, Ish. How you doing? And hello, Yeti. How you doing? How's things? I am hardware hacking again, yes, or at least attempting to and failing. I blew up my lights. This power supply board, I genuinely believe is dangerous and terrible. I blew up the microcontroller that ran it, and then dropped it on the floor. So yeah. Damage report. I had a really bad week. But for no particular reason. I was doing more work on replacing the window the window mechanisms. In fact, I have now replaced all of the mechanisms and handles. I've just not moved the window keeps for all of the windows. I've done one. I've done the main one that I was planning on doing, but there's two more windows that I need to do that on. And that I've yet to do because I couldn't move this finger for basically a week. Like today is the first day that I've actually had some amount of full use in it, and it still hurts if I close it basically. So it's still not fully healed. And the more that I do stuff with it, like screwing things, say window keeps, the more that it flares and hurts. Hold on. So I don't want to break it. It being my hand, obviously, or my body. My back has been killing me, but more appropriate or more dangerously, I had real bad depression, especially Monday and Tuesday. Did not feel like myself at all, and I felt like it was the dangerous kind of depression, like the this could become a problem very quickly type of depression. So, for no particular reason, because you know, my body loves itself so much. Can I send you my Switch and my mod chip so you can solder it on? If you want your Switch to return in pieces, sure. I have mixed unluck with electric screwdrivers. Half the time, I rather a manual ratcheting one. I don't have a good manual ratcheting one. Holiness. Come on, I sent you like multiple response time tools for free. Come on. Sorry, I'm tickled by my own self-promoting or whatever there. Focus. I was I got an electric screwdriver from Lidl. It is wonderful. Comes in a little case, USB chargeable. It's quite big, but it has a lot of torque. Like, it's not quite enough to, like, you know, fully unscrew, like, really tight, you know, wood screws or whatever. But it'll do a lot of them. You know, it's not an impact, but it's damn close. Yeah, Parkside. Yeah. It's next door, otherwise I'd show you it. But it's great, and I use it a lot for this sort of stuff. I have a Parkside. In fact, nope, it's in the car. I have a Parkside like rotary tool, Dremel type thing. Not super powerful, but it's USB rechargeable, and that's all I really care about. It does the job for all I needed to do. Oh no, it's not professional work. Like if you want something that is definitely going to last you, you know, through 10,000 screws or through 10,000 screws if you want a Dremel. Yeah, Parkside stuff is not professional. It's homeowner grade for sure, but it is good enough for me. It's good enough for using it, you know, twice a year, for like forever. Yeah. So I mean, I did not. No, I think I'm pretty sure at some point. I think I jokingly mentioned it to Plouf, while we were talking about, like I had sent them a second response time tool and a latency tool or something. And I jokingly mentioned about, can I get a screwdriver? It doesn't even have to be a Crater edition or anything. And they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll do that." So yeah, step down from Ryobi and press squarely. I mean, Ryobi is not professional grade either. I do have a lot of Ryobi tools. That's because it was bought into, I was bought into it for me. That was a Christmas gift, and I was just not really moved away because it does the job enough. And more so, my friend Dan has a lot of red tools that I can borrow whenever I need. uh, LTD screw over. Exactly. No, Ryobi do a wide range, very wide, much deep. Ryobi is the home use version of Milwaukee. Pretty much. Yeah, yeah. Well, there's Rigids, which I think are mostly in the US. They're also made by TTI, who make Milwaukee tools. So yeah, you have TTI, which is Ryobi and Milwaukee and Rigid. And for a while, Hart, I think, was the like Walmart brand. Whereas DeWalt is Stanley Black and Decker, I think. And then there's Makita, who I can't remember who they're owned by. My brother-in-law is the go-to for renting, so no need to buy for myself. Nice. I love my DeWalt. If you're not careful, it'll snap your wrist. Well, that's good, but also bad. Like, a lot of the Milwaukee stuff have like kickback prevention built in, which is pretty sweet. Because I have been on the receiving end of a lot of drills snatching and twisting, and it's not fun. It's not fun. Milwaukee makes some nice tools. They do indeed. Yeah. I kind of regret going the Makita route, but each one stands well on its own for home use. Fair enough. I mean, I understand from like, I mean, as someone who only has one primary tool brand, like removable battery tool brand, like I have a lot of Parkside stuff, or if it has its battery built in, then who cares? But for interchangeable battery stuff, my go-to is Ryobi because I have three of those batteries, and that's just very convenient to be able to be like, oh no, my things, like my drill's out of battery. I will stick that one in the charger and stick the one from the impact in it, and we can swap between them. Like that's pretty handy, and economizes the cost of owning a whole bunch of tools because they don't need to have batteries in them themselves. You're rarely ever using more than three tools at a time. Although you can. Ow. Yeah. I actually bought a Xiaomi magnetic precision screwdriver set. Quite nice, honestly. Nice. How much is that? Because I kind of want something like that too. Ow. Oh god. I have a 24-volt Bosch SDS. It's about 25 years old and still going. Nice. I mean, the SDS that I borrow from my friend is Screwfix Titan, and it's just on the wall. Like it's corded, not cordless. Equivalent of £20. Oh damn. Well then I really want one. I have been thinking, like, looking for something like that. So do you know what? I'm gonna write it down because otherwise I'll forget about it. I can just about read what that says. Good enough. You've heard of Xiaomi-ish. They make phones. And now cars. Yeah, Xiaomi. You know Xiaomi-ish. You know Xiaomi. I bought some bottom of the barrel cheap Chinese toolkit. It's honestly amazing. Yeah. Uh, it's one way or the other. It's either the best tool you'll ever own, or it's the worst tool you ever own. I've had both. The car does look cool. It does, and that makes me confused because the people who make my phone shouldn't also make my car. But yeah, they do EVs. Yes. Is Xiaomi's not the actual manufacturer? Is it? Isn't it BYD or someone? It's layers on layers of tech. What's not to love? The spyware? I thought Samsung are the ones who did like every product category. They do. They do, yeah. Samsung did make cars for a while. I think it was a very short-lived period, but they do. Yeah, Samsung do make, I think, container ships. About an iFen soldering station feels comparable to the JBC stuff. I mean, my Tills wall is fantastic, and I really like it. So, yeah, would actually recommend. And it was 30 quid when I bought it for a full proper power supply station, controllable heat, and a separate like iron and stand. It's really nice. I'm tempted to go look at BYD. I have driven multiple BYDs. They're pretty nice. Not sure how I feel about them long term, but they look nice. What tips does it take? Akko? Um, yeah. That style. And then the heating element in there. It's very nice, and I've done an awful lot of soldering with it. Yeah, I think it's Hacko tips because I'm pretty sure I bought replacement ones for more fine soldering. That didn't work quite as well, but have you seen the GN bit on Chinese RAM? I haven't, although I do know a little bit about Chinese RAM manufacturers because I've sort of run into them a few times with reviews. But what's the? I was gonna say what's the punchline, as if it's a joke, but what's the TLDW? A lot of car for 30 grand. Yeah. Yeah, it really is. I mean the BYD seal it's really nice and it's ridiculous. So yeah. Oh, there are saviors. Wonderful. Good to know. Those are 900 soldering tips. Nice. I'm sure they were sold as Hako. Hako used them. Well, there you go. But nice to know the brand designation? Brandless designation. Yeah. I went for the C245 tip since they are tiny but can deliver up to 200 watts to the tip. Nice. That's great. I definitely want to get some thinner tips for more delicate soldering at some point, although I don't care that much right this second, but at some point I'd love to. They're being gate kept by the other RAM manufacturers, especially Micron. Oh, the ones that pulled out of consumer RAMs so they could sell to data centers that don't exist? Nice. Love them. Yeah. Good job. Oh yeah, when you grow your hair just falls out everywhere. Just get used to it. Uh, um, yeah, I don't care that much about it right now. Um, this is more than adequate for what I generally do, so yeah. Yep, that's right-ish. That's right. And yes, you're exactly right. I am clocking out for the night. Um, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Hope you all stay safe. Hope you have fun. Um, I will be here as normal next week. The week after should be, but I've got a doctor's appointment as a follow up to my second camera ramming down my throat thing, which is in like 10 days, which I'm not looking forward to, or 11 days, can't remember. So yeah, I'll see you all next week. Hopefully in better condition than this week. Right. Toodaloo. Have fun. See you there.